Them never know I'm serious. The boy them thinks that them smart, but I'm the genius. So none of them can give me no talk. Them couldn't team with us. Yeah, what them people they would not trust. Them too devious. I would not know about nobody else but big ship. Would not forgive them. Cause from them violate one time can't happen again. Would not forgive them. I would not give them no space to do no backstabbing again. So would not forgive them. Cause from them violate one time can't happen again.
I know that a lot of people became familiar with you with the Red Bull and Guinness with Deli Ranks, but you had been doing stuff before that.
Yeah, prior to the Red Bull and Guinness rhythm, had rhythms like the first dancehall effort that we did as a juggling was a rhythm called the Dutch Master rhythm. Featured artists like Chino, Future Fambo, Singing Melody, Davil, like people like that. Immediately after that, I had something called the Cartoon rhythm. That was really what started my buzz in JA as a producer. Like people started to give me some attention there and was like, yo, who did that rhythm? Because it was so different at the time. And Elephant Man and Wayne Marshall and our artist again, of course, was on it. And that's we started getting love on the radio from that. And then after that, the rest is history, as everybody knows. The Red Bull.
How old were you then?
That time, that was like late 04, 05. I was like 15 that time.
So is the production aspect something that you have been working on many years prior to that? Did you have formal training or did you just go in the studio?
No formal training. I mean, when I started playing musical instruments, I didn't start playing them with the intention of being a musician or even becoming a producer as far as that. I mean, I just was playing around with the equipment and just like to play back songs I used to hear on the radio, like fool around like that, and I guess that just developed into a skill without me even knowing that that's what I was training to do. So everything just kind of fell into place that way.
Now if you can, because a lot of people hear the finished product on the radio, take us through it verbally if you can. What goes into actually from the conception to, you know, the end of.
Well, there's a lot of different ways that we go about it sometimes, but for the most part, it's usually a situation like this where I have a beat, I come up with the rhythm first, in my own time or whatever. Come up with the beat and you link whichever artist to go on it. We and the artists usually vibe out in the studio in Big Ship. And we just like help trade words and whatever. We just vibe, because we just work as a family vibe at Big Ship. We just do that, then we start the recording process. After that, then I do all of the editing and chopping up and all of that, then the mix of the song, and the song goes up.
Now as far as coming up with the beats, is it you could just hear a melody or you go in there and start playing around with different stuff online, or how does that? I come up with my best material when I'm not thinking about it. When I just go into the studio and just, like right now, just free flow and just vibe out, go into the studio, start playing with the keys and stuff like that. I get some of my biggest songs that way. Like not thinking about saying I need to make a rhythm for this or need to come up with a bad dance or anything. Just go in there and vibe. Usually, and it usually happens fast, like 15-20 minutes. You get like most of those big rhythms is like 15-20 minutes to make all of them. Now, how do you decide which artist you're gonna voice on the rhythm? Do you have particular artists in mind when you're putting it together?
Oh, okay. I mean, usually when I'm building rhythms, I usually get a lot of ideas for songs while I'm making the rhythms and stuff, just like melodies and stuff. And I mean, it's a sound thing. You can hear a rhythm and you can be like, yo, this rhythm would have fit a Mofad or would have Capleton would have sound bad for this or something like that. So it's a vibe thing like that. You can hear it. I mean, like when I built Day Rave rhythm, immediately Elephant Man came to mind because it had that high energy vibe, and I just called him same time as I built it and him hear it, and that kind of vibe.
Now last week you announced on Twitter that you're putting out 3 projects.
Oh yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, some iTunes releases. That's 2 of them going to be released next week. It's my new series called The Genius Presents Lab Work. So the series is called Lab Work. We're going to have a volume 1, volume 2, whatever. Because I mean, I produce a lot of singles, so I just found that as a way to get out all of those singles and get them out there online. So those will be available on iTunes and all.
Are these new material or these are just a collection of stuff?
Yeah, well, the volume 1 was like, I had a lot of stuff from like 09, because I'm just initially starting it up, and The volume 2 has some exclusive stuff on it that nobody heard yet though. But for the most part, the future ones that's going to come out, like possibly like in around summertime. Like we're gonna have crazy exclusive stuff on that one, and the rest. So that's how we're gonna use it to market that type of thing. Just have crazy exclusive from the same artists that I usually work with, Mobile, Idona, etc. But just exclusive tracks though. So people can just keep looking out for the Lambert series and just be a part of it like that.
Now, the whole iTunes trend that you see a lot of producers and artists and stuff going into, is that something that you're going to exclusively do going forward, or are you still going to, you know, release music out there for people to download for free?
Well, I mean, it only makes sense, you know what I mean? Dancehall, well, I wouldn't break it down to dancehall. Music on a whole isn't selling like before, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it makes sense when we can go to outlets like iTunes and like the other digital platforms like Amazon and stuff like that, and benefit from it. I mean, it's better. I feel it's better to put up your songs and you make like only $3 off it rather than it being out there and everybody just download it for free. Because I mean, in a lot of other cases, I mean, I'm in a kind of different case where I do everything myself in the studio. Like I produce and build the tracks and engineer and do all of that, and do all the mixing. But you have a lot of other cases where most producers in Jamaica are not actually engineers or musicians or anything like that. So they have people to pay. So it's only fair for them when them put in all of that work and pay engineers to mix it and pay the person to build the rhythm, pay artists the voice. It's only fair for them to be able to make back something.
Because the feedback has been kind of mixed on it, because a lot of people have been able to go online and download stuff for free for the past couple of years, and now it's like, well, why do we have to pay for it? You know. So how do you? I guess you're addressing that by saying that.
Yeah, I mean that what I just explained. I mean there's a lot of work that goes into making songs. I mean, like I said, it's a lot different for like people like us. It looks kind of easier on our side because we just do everything in one place. We have other producers that have to go through a lot of different other processes. So it's only fair for them to be able to make back something off it.
But I think the incentive going down the line, like you said, would be to have exclusive tracks that people haven't heard before.
Yeah, like that's the way I'm looking at it, because I mean you have to have a way that's going to be attractive for people to be interested in a release.